Hello everybody, today back in another video. Oh boy, my tennis fans all around the world. What a match. What an epic battle we saw between the world number one, Jannik Sinner, versus the world number two, Carlos Alcaraz. The two superstars, the two new superstars of tennis, the two new beasts of tennis, the two new dominant players of tennis who has shared the last 6 Grand Slam titles together. They won all the 4 Grand Slam titles together 2024, and now they have splitted the 2 first Grand Slam titles this 2025 season. Australian Open, Jannik Sinner won it earlier this year, and now Carlos Alcaraz just won his 2nd consecutive French Open title and his 5th Grand Slam title. Now Carlos Alcaraz has won 2 French Open titles, 2 Wimbledon titles, and 1 US Open title. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, thank you for the show. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, thank you for the entertainment. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, thank you for the effort. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, thank you for the battle. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, what a gladiators these two guys are. These two guys are super gladiators. These two guys are the new rivalry in tennis, the new hot, heavy rivalry in tennis. Even though Carlos Alcaraz has defeated now Jannik Sinner for the 5th consecutive time and leads the head-to-head 8-4, it is still the best rivalry in tennis right now. I'm not talking about over the time, that is not my point. Because when it comes which is the greatest rivalry or in history, it is of course between Djokovic and Nadal, who has faced each other 60 times, where Djokovic won 31 matches and Nadal won 29 matches. But I'm talking about the rivalry at the current time, at the current moment, which is the best tennis match we can see right now at the current moment, at the current time. It is between Jannik Sinner versus Carlos Alcaraz, baby. It is these two who fill the stands. It is these two who can get the attention. It is these two who people want to see fight against each other, who people want to see compete against each other, who people want to see go toe-to-toe against each other, who people want to see give a show out there, which they bloody did in this Roland Garros final, in this French Open final 2025, with the longest French Open final in history, with 5 hours and 29 minutes. What a match, what a battle. Carlos Alcaraz is coming back from 2 sets to love down for the first time in his career. Carlos Alcaraz is the 9th ever player in Open era to come back from a love to down in a Grand Slam final. He's the 9th ever player to do that in a Grand Slam final. Carlos Alcaraz is the only 3rd player ever to win a Grand Slam final after saving championship points. First one was Gaston Gaudia 21 years ago at the same event, French Open 2004, where he actually was 2 sets to love down against Guillermo Coria. Gaston Gaudia came back there and saved championship point on the way to in that comeback from 2 sets to love down. Then the second player to save championship points was Novak Djokovic 6 years ago at the Wimbledon 2019. That heartbreaking loss for Federer and all of his fans, one of them me. That was a devastating one, where Roger Federer had 2 championship points in that 5th set in his own serve. Now the 3rd, Djokovic was that player who made that comeback and who saved those championship points in that final. That Djokovic was the 2nd player to ever do it in the final, to save championship points and go on and win the final in Grand Slams. The 3rd ever player to do it now is Carlos Alcaraz, who did an unbelievable Houdini escape in that 4th set, in that 9th game of the 4th set, in that 5-3 game, where Jannik Sinner had 3 consecutive championship points in Carlos Alcaraz serve. 3 of them. Could he do something with those championship points? The first one, Carlos, I believe, said it with a winner, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. The second one, that was in that one, I believe, that he could do something. Because in the second championship point, in that 4th set, in that 9th game, in that 5-3 game when Carlos was serving, it was a second serve that Carlos was delivering to Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner stepped forward and close to the baseline and couldn't make that backhand return, and he made that backhand return long. That was, according to me, a cheap and an easy unforced error that Sinner did. The first one, I don't blame him there. Carlos did a great point there to save the first championship point. The second one, it is there where I blame Sinner. He could and he should have put that ball inside the court. He didn't. And that third one, it was maybe a forced error. I don't know if you can call it a forced or unforced. I don't know. But that third one, it was a pretty depth that Carlos had in his shot, and Sinner hit a forehand into the net. So there was those 3 championship points that Sinner wasted. After that, Carlos won 2 more points. So Carlos won 5th consecutive points there to save that defeat and to come away from that Houdini escape, and made it and level to 4-5. But he was still in trouble because he still was a breakdown. And then in that 4th set, Sinner had the opportunity to serve out the final and to win the title. Couldn't do it. Lost that 10th game of the 4th set, that 5-4 game, 40-15. So he was not close to serve out the title. He lost that 10th game of the 4th set pretty comfortably. So there you have it. And then they went to a tiebreak in that 4th set, a tiebreak which Carlos won 7-3, that 4th set tiebreak. All in all, the numbers. The first set, Sinner won 6-4. He was a better player, all right? They trade breaks. Carlos broke first, then Sinner broke again, and then Sinner broke again on the first set and won that first set 6-4. Then the second, Sinner wins that second set in a tiebreak 7-3. All right, so Sinner was 2 sets to love up in the lead. In the third, Sinner was up with the early break, couldn't hold that early break, and then Carlos broke back, leveled the third set with broke back Sinner in the third set, and then broke him again in that 10th game of the third set, and won the third set 6-4. And then, like I talked about, in the 4th, Sinner was a break up, could never maintain that lead, had 3 championship points in Carlos serve. I talked about how Carlos saved those championship points, and then Carlos won that 4th set in a tiebreak 7-3. And then in the 5th, I will be honest with you, my tennis friends all over the world, I never thought Sinner will win this match after he lost those championship points. Never thought he would win this match. In the end, I was right about that. I actually even thought that he will go down much more. I thought that I was saying to my, I was watching the match with my sister, and I was saying to her that now Carlos will win this 5th set 6-3 or 6-2. I actually thought so. Because Sinner doesn't have the greatest 5th set record. He has now lost 10 matches when the matches has gone to the 5th set and won only 6. Carlos is unbelievable in the 5th set. I think he has won 13 matches now when the matches have gone to the 5th set and only lost 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is 13-1 now for Carlos. So Carlos has lost only 1 match in his career when a match has gone to the 5th set. Only 1. And I believe it was back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, at Australian Open against Matteo Berrettini in the 3rd round. A match where he lost in 5th set And that fifth set was decided in a super tiebreak. So that is the only match that Carlos has lost in when the matches have gone to the distance. He has won 13 with today's victory. So he's 13-1 in matches when the matches have gone to the fifth set. Sinner now is 6-10. 6 losses, 10. I'm sorry, 6 wins, 10 losses. And another thing with Sinner is that Sinner has never won a match when the matches have gone over 3 hours and 50 minutes. He has never won a match when the matches have gone 3 hours and 50 minutes. He has played 7 matches that has been over 3 hours and 50 minutes and has lost all of them. So, and I felt that beginning of the fifth set, Sinner felt more tired than Carlos. Not much more, but definitely more. I could see it, I could feel it. He has improved his physicality, absolutely. 3 years ago, he would have been completely super tired in that fifth set. His physicality would have been a rock bottom. That is not the case anymore. He has improved his physicality tremendously, but still he's not as physical strong. His cardio is not as strong as Carlos. Carlos is a beast. Carlos is the machine when it comes to the physicality department. When Carlos was playing that fifth set, you could believe, I thought with myself, these guys playing tennis like the match started 5 minutes ago. And they have been, when they went into that fifth set, the matches had been over 4 hours. You are getting my point? So, and he was playing like the match started 5 minutes ago. You could not see 1 second that Carlos was tired in that fifth set. No, that is not the case with Sinner. Sinner looked more tired, but he never gave up. That's why Carlos was doing a lot of drop shots in that fifth set, because he could see that Sinner was slightly tired, at least more tired than him. You could see, Carlos could see that, and he did a lot of drop, not maybe a lot, but he did a couple of drop shot winners in that fifth set, which Sinner couldn't save. Besides, he saved one, which he did unbelievable save when Carlos was serving for the match in that 5-4 game in the fifth, in that 10th game in the fifth set, where Carlos did a great drop shot and Sinner barely saved it and made it to 40-15, and then Sinner also leveled to 5-all. So it was a roller coaster match. Sinner was the player who had the most chances, no doubt about it. Sinner was 2 sets to love up in the lead. It was Sinner who had the early break in the third set, couldn't hold that early breaks. Carlos came back. It was Sinner who had the first championship point in that fourth set. It was Sinner was serving for the match first in that 10th game in the fourth set, in that 5-4 game. And so Sinner had a lot of chances, to say the least. And then, of course, Carlos came back, leveled the match to 2-all, and then Carlos had that early break in the fifth, which he kept on holding until that 10th game of the fifth, where he couldn't serve out the title. And Sinner leveled the match to 5-all in that fifth set, and then Sinner held pretty comfortably to 6-5. And even in that, when Carlos was trying to take the fifth set to a super tiebreaker, Sinner actually had some small chances in that 12th game of the fifth set as well. Sinner was 30-15 up in Carlos' serve, so he was 2 points away to win that fifth set 7-5. But Carlos came up with some unbelievable shot-making skills. And then when they went in that tiebreak, Carlos Alcaraz went beast mode. He went completely beast mode and took the racket completely out of Sinner's hand. Sinner didn't do his best tiebreak in that fifth set, but it was Carlos, according to me, who just took the racket out of Sinner's hands with unbelievable winners and with unbelievable shot-making skills. And that is what Carlos does. That is what Carlos is known for. When he goes in that beast mode, nobody touches him. And that's why he won that fifth set tiebreak 10-2. Sinner couldn't stand a chance in that fifth set tiebreak. So, some numbers. Sinner did 8 aces, 0 double faults. So he served pretty good when it comes to aces and double faults. He didn't do one single double fault the entire match. A match that took 5 hours and 29 minutes. He won 70%. He landed 54% first serve sin. Not super high, but Sinner is not known to land crazy high of first percentages. He landed 51% against Djokovic. So here he landed at least a little higher. Against Djokovic in the semifinals, he landed 51. Here he landed 54. Anyway, he won 70% behind his first serve, which is pretty good, especially against a player like Carlos, who pushes you so much and who gives you so much trouble and who takes so much time away from you. So he won 70% behind his first serve. He won 50% behind his second serve. He broke Carlos' serve 7 times out of 15 break push opportunities that he had. And all in all, did 53 winners and 64 unforced errors. He does 11 more unforced errors than winners, and won all in all in the entire match 193 points. So there you have now Sinner stats. Carlos stats: 7 aces, 7 double faults. It was even Steven in the ace and double faults account there. Lands 58% first serve sin, so a little higher than Sinner. Won 63% behind his first serve, so he won less points behind his first serve compared with Sinner. Sinner won 70%, Carlos won 63%. Won 57% behind his second serve, so he won more points behind his second serve than Sinner. Sinner won 50%, Carlos won 57% behind his second serve. But Sinner won more points behind his first serve than Carlos. So it was even Steven in that department. Sinner won more points behind first serve. Carlos won more points behind second serve. And Carlos broke Sinner's serve also 7 times out of 14 break point opportunities that he had. So they broke each other's serve 7 times each. And Carlos did 73 winners and 70 unforced errors. 73 unforced errors Carlos did and 70 winners. So Carlos did only 3 more unforced errors than winners, compared with Sinner, who did 11 more unforced errors than winners. And all in all, Carlos won 192 points the entire match. So Sinner actually wins 1 more point than Carlos Alcaraz the entire match. Sinner won 193 points the entire match. Sinner won 193 points the entire match, Yannick Sinner, and Carlos won 192 points the entire match. So Sinner won 1 more point than Carlos Alcaraz the entire match. It was exactly the same thing almost last year at French Open in the semifinal between these two. Even in that match, Sinner actually won more points than Carlos Alcaraz. Sinner in that match, in the semifinal at French Open 2024, won 147 points. And Carlos won 145 points. So Sinner won 2 more points than Carlos Alcaraz in that French Open semifinal last year. But he lost the battle. Lost that match in 5 sets, lost that 5th set 6-3. So even in this one year later, now in the final, Sinner wins more points than Carlos Alcaraz in the entire match. 1 more point. But you know how it is in tennis. It is not the player who wins the most points who always wins the matches. It is the player who wins the most important points, and that player was, of course, Carlos Alcaraz. So there you have it. Carlos Alcaraz has won his 5th Grand Slam title. It is 5th Grand Slam final. He has never tasted defeat in Grand Slam finals in 5 Grand Slam finals that he has played. Sinner lost his first Grand Slam final in his career. He won 3 of them before, and now he lost his first Grand Slam final in his career, even though he was very, very close to win. He really had Carlos Alcaraz under the ropes there and should have won this match in 4 sets. Carlos Alcaraz really had the knife under his throat, but he just said, no, I'm not just finished quite yet. I have not lost yet. You have not won, Yannick Sinner, until you have until you have won the last point of the match. And that is how tennis works. The player who wins the last point of the match that is the player who wins the match. Now Carlos Alcaraz has won 2 Grand Slam titles where he has saved championship points on his way. His first Grand Slam title he won back in 2022 at US Open. And he saved a championship point, not championship point, match point. I want to say match point on the way. In 2022, he did that in the quarterfinal against same player, Jannik Sinner. He saved one match point there against Jannik Sinner in a 5-set battle, and then went on to win the entire title. Now he's doing that for the second time, but now he's doing that in a final, and he's doing that against the same player, Jannik Sinner. So Carlos Alcaraz could easily have had 3 Grand Slam titles instead of 5. And Jannik Sinner could have easily have had 5 Grand Slam titles instead of 3. So Carlos Alcaraz is doing the same like Djokovic. Djokovic also won 2 Grand Slam titles during his career after saving match points. And he did that against the same player, Roger Federer. 2011 US Open, he did that in a semi-final against Federer, saved 2 match points there on Federer's serve, and went on then to win the title, defeated Nadal in the final, that 2011 US Open final, Novak, and then Novak did it once again against Federer. Now the second time he did that against Federer in a final at Wimbledon 2019. So even Djokovic won 2 Grand Slam titles when he saved match points on his way. Now Carlos is doing the same like Djokovic. Like I just mentioned, he did that at US Open 2022, and now he does that at French Open 2025. And he also is doing that against same player, Jannik Sinner. So, yeah, Carlos Alcaraz, so I don't know what to say. He's just, I don't know, I think Carlos Alcaraz, I need to correct myself. I think Carlos Alcaraz, when he lost that only 5th set at Australian Open, I think it was back in 2021, not 2022. I think it was back in 2021 against Matteo Berrettini. I think so, not 2022. Correct me down below if I'm wrong. Anyway, 2021 or 2022, one of those years at Australian Open, Carlos Alcaraz lost against Matteo Berrettini in the 3rd round in a 5-set. That is his only loss that Carlos has when the matches has gone to the 5th set. So, if you want to finish Carlos Alcaraz off, do it before you go into a 5th set. Because when you go into a 5th set, man, he is tremendously hard to defeat. Tremendously hard, to be quite honest, my tennis fans all around the world. He's not winning these majors easy. It is not like he's steamrolling the opponents. It was the same thing at French Open last year. He was 2-1 down against Sinner at French Open last year in the semi-final. Came back and won that semi-final against Sinner in 5 sets. He was 2-1 down against Zverev in last year's French Open final. Came back and won in 5 sets. So he won back-to-back 5-set matches at French Open last year to win the title. Now, he did the same way here, but now he didn't do that back-to-back 5 sets. He never played 5 sets in the semi-final against Lorenzo Musetti. But he did that in the final. And now even more harder. He was 2 sets to love down. He was a breakdown in the 3rd set. He was a breakdown in the 4th set. He had 3 championship points. He was 3 championship points down consecutively. He saved those championship points consecutively. So, I don't know how much closer you can come to victory than Sinner came. I don't know if you can come closer than this. I will be honest with you, my tennis fans all around the world. I like Carlos Alcaraz's tennis style more than Sinner's. I find Carlos Alcaraz's tennis style more attractive than Sinner's. Because Carlos Alcaraz reminds me more of Federer than what Sinner does. Sinner is the new version of Novak Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz is the new version of Roger Federer. So, coming into this match, I believe that Carlos will win, which I was right about, and I wanted Carlos to win. But during the match, when I saw Sinner playing such unbelievable tennis, the first 2-3 sets, he played just unbelievable tennis with great ball striking. And when Sinner had those opportunities in the fourth set, I will be honest with you, my tennis fans all the world, I am a big human lover. I wanted Sinner to win that fourth set. I really wanted him to win. It would have been just such great for tennis if Sinner won French Open and defeated Carlos Alcaraz for the first time in almost 2 years. Last time Sinner defeated Carlos was in 2023 Beijing, and for the first time in 3 years when it comes to majors. Last time Sinner defeated Carlos in a major was at Wimbledon 2022. So, and I'm that kind of a guy. When a player comes that close to victory, even though I'm not a Sinner fan, I hate seeing him suffer. I knew that when he wasted those match points, I really knew it. And when Carlos won that fourth set tiebreak 7-3, I knew that it is over for Sinner now. Sinner will never win this match. I really knew it. Even though Sinner never gave up and really gave Carlos Alcaraz a hell of a run for his money in that fifth set, and almost won also that fifth set, especially that 12th game of the fifth set, that 6-5 game where Sinner was 30-15 up in Carlos' serve. So he never faded away, Sinner. But he still didn't win that fifth set. And in that fifth set tiebreak, super tiebreak, he got outplayed 10-2. So I knew that when Sinner will lose this match, he will be just completely devastated. He will be heartbroken. This is one of the most brutal losses I have ever seen. No, this is the most brutal loss I have ever seen. This is even worse than Federer 2019. Yeah, Federer had 2 championship points. Yeah, he had them in his serve, but Federer was never too love up in the lead. Federer was never a break up in the third set. Federer never he never had that many chances like Sinner. Sinner had many chances. Sinner had a 2-love up lead. Sinner had an early break in the third. Sinner had a break in the fourth. Sinner served out for the title. Sinner had 3 consecutive match championship points. Yeah, Federer also had, but Federer didn't have 3 consecutive championship points. He had 2 consecutive championship points. Yeah, Federer was in his own serve, but Federer never, I don't know, Federer was also close, no doubt about that. But I felt that Sinner was even closer. That is my feeling. Sinner had a bigger lead. He had a 2-love up lead against Carlos. Anyway, so I felt it when I wanted Sinner to win that fourth set when he came that close. Just for the sake that I didn't want him to be heartbroken after the match. I really hated to see him get heartbroken. I hate seeing players get heartbroken. I'm a human lover, big one. So I'm happy for Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah, I'm happy. In the end, he won it. He took it. He deserved it. But Sinner would have deserved it as well. He really would have deserved it as well. And it would have been fun for tennis if Sinner would have won. He would have had 4 Grand Slam titles. He would have had Australian Open 2 times. He would have had US Open once. And he would have had French Open. Then Sinner would have had only 1 major that he has never won. That would have been Wimbledon. And Carlos also would have had 4 Grand Slam titles, 2 Wimbledons, 1 US Open, and 1 French Open. And Carlos would have had also 1 Grand Slam event that he had never won, which is of course Australian Open. So both would have been at 4 Grand Slams each, and both would have had 1 Grand Slam tournament that they have not won. Carlos Alcaraz Australian Open, Sinner Wimbledon. So that would have been absolutely great for tennis. But now Carlos won. Not that he's not deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. But I am suffering with Sinner. I'm really doing it. Even though I don't know the guy, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know even that I exist. But I hated seeing him that heartbroken. He was totally devastated after the final. So now Carlos has won 12 big titles, 7 5 Grand Slam titles, 7 Masters. So now totally Carlos has 12 big titles, Sinner has 8 big titles, 4 Masters, 3 Grand Slam titles, and 1 ATP Tour Finals. So there you have it, my tennis friends around the world. That was my analysis of the match, my reaction. Call it what you want. Carlos Alcaraz is the 2025 French Open champion, very, very deservedly so. Let's see how Sinner will bounce back from this. This will not be easy to bounce back, but I think he will bounce back. He will do. He's such a good player, so he will do it. But it will not be easy. That's for sure. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace.